Janome.
Hello everyone and welcome to Live with Janome. I'm Miriam Coffey. I'm an education specialist here at Janome America, and welcome to my studio. I hope everyone's having a fantastic day because I know I'm excited to show you guys this project because it's one of my favorite projects that I've created. And we're going to be making pincushions, but not just any pincushions that attach to the front of your machine, like this pincushion right here in the front on my M6. So I know I'm not the only one that has the problem of losing pincushions everywhere. At least I can't be, because I know there are tons of people out there that probably have the same issue that I do with leaving pincushions or leaving your pins all over your studio, and they're never where you want them to be. So that's when I created this project to rectify that issue. So let's go ahead and go over some of the supplies and show you a closer look of some of the project. So there's actually two different styles of pincushions that we're going to go over, or two different attachment methods. The first is the snap-on, and this is going to snap on the back of your machine using a snap. And then secondly, there is the tied version with a longer, skinnier piece of elastic. It works best to use elastic and not ribbon because a ribbon's not going to tie it tight quite enough and it's going to sag over time. And the elastic you can really tie really tight and it's going to hold it in place. So I do recommend using skinnier elastic for the tied version, and you can use thicker for the snap version. So let's go over some supplies. So the first thing we're going to need is fabric. We're going to need a 6 by 7 inch piece of quilting cotton, or you could even use like a linen. A cotton linen blend would work great too. That's the beauty with this project, is that you can really make it as complicated or as simple as you'd like it to be. You can do just plain fabric, you could do decorative stitches, I've even pieced them, you can do all kinds of stuff with them. So there really is like a blank canvas for you to work with. Basically anything that you want to fit on a 6 by 7 inch piece of fabric will work just fine for this. So you're going to need a 6 by 7 inch piece of fabric and then a 6 by 7 inch piece of batting. Now, just sort of some basic sewing supplies will work just fine. So you're going to need your scissors, a marker, and a small ruler. And you're going to need a lighter. You're going to need a lighter to burn the edges of the elastic so they don't unravel or fray. A hand sewing needle. And now we need some elastic. So depending on which size you get or which method you use, whichever method you use, the length will change. So if you are going to use the tied method, you're going to want one piece of 40 inches of 1/4 inch elastic. Or if you want to do the snap version, you can need two pieces of 12 inches or one piece of 24 inches of 1 inch or equivalent elastic. So you could do anywhere between 1 inch to a 1/4 inch, so 1/2 inch, 3/4. All of those sizes will work just fine for the snaps. The only ones that don't work quite as well with the snaps are the 1/4 inch. And you can even get fun elastic. I have some glitter elastic here, and as you can see, you can even use some colored elastic too that you can find. Now, if you are doing the snap version, you are going to need a snap. So this is a plastic snap kit that you can purchase. But if you don't want to purchase a whole kit, you can buy metal snaps as well. And those you can buy in smaller packs, and they're a lot less expensive. And you're only getting about 5 or 6 of them versus a whole bunch that you would get in a pack like this. Next, you're going to need polyfill or stuffing of some kind. An alternative to polyfill is crushed walnut shells. They make great pincushion fillings because they actually sharpen your pins and needles as you use your pincushion over time. They keep them nice and sharp. and that's crushed walnut shells, which you can purchase through your local dealer, or you can also purchase them online. They can be sold specifically for sewing, but you can also get crushed walnut shells for other things that can be a little bit cheaper. So those are some alternatives for your stuffing. Now that we've gone over all the supplies, let's go ahead and switch angles and go to the sewing machine. Alrighty, now that we're zoomed in here, I'd like to show you guys a little bit of a closer look of what the project is going to look like. This is the side view and the front. This is again the one that has the long ties for tying in the back. There is also the second version with the shorter elastic that has the snap in the back. And this is an example of a decorative stitching as well. Alrighty, let's go ahead and just start sewing. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out our fabric and our batting. Again, this is 6 inches by 7 inches. And we're going to fold this in half along the 6-inch side. So this is the 7 inches. We're going to leave that one there. We're going to fold along the 6-inch side, kind of make a taco shape. There we go, kind of make a taco. There we go. Now we're going to sew, but leave this opening along here. So it's going to look like this. So what I like to do is, you may notice it has these little L shapes. I like to create those little L shapes instead of just starting at the ends, because when you put that little vertical stitch line, that helps tuck in your fabric once you start sewing, like when you turn it right side out. It will come into play later on. So, but just sew your little L's. So you're just going to sew, get this folded in half. We're going to just stitch about 3 or 4 stitches and then rotate and then stitch off. Cut our threads. We're going to do the same thing for the other side. Pivot. Alrighty, so now we have our opening here, and then we have our little L shapes. It's okay if it's a little, if it's not perfect, it will be totally fine. What we do want to do is we want to make sure that we leave a big enough opening, so about 2 inches, maybe 2.5 inches would be fine. And we are using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now that we have our fabric sewn in half like this, like that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our elastic, and our elastic should be, we should have 2 pieces of 12 inches. So 2 pieces of 12 inches if you're doing the snap. If you're doing the tie with the long, with the 1/4 inch of elastic, you're going to need 2 pieces of 20 inches. So again, this is 2 pieces of 20 inches and then 2 pieces of 12 inches. And what we're going to do is we're going to burn the edges to keep them from unraveling. So just the 2 ends is fine. Alrighty. Now that we have both of those ends burned, let's go ahead and insert them into our project. So I have my piece of elastic here, and what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. So this is what it looked like before, and we're going to fold this in half this way. So it kind of makes, so it's going to look like that. We're going to match up our center points, and we're going to insert into that center opening our elastic. Just like, so see it poking out there? Let's go ahead and sew that down. We're going to do it on this one. So I have this, my elastic is coming from the center and it's sticking out on this side, but we're going to actually push it back here and we're going to match our center points. So we're matching the center of my elastic to the seam line to the center back. And we're going to sew across, sewing that down using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm just going to reverse at where the elastic is, just for extra stability, and then a bit at the end. Cut my threads. And I would do that to the other side, so which is already done here. So I would sew both ends up, and both of my elastics are coming out of the center here. So it looks a little funny, but it will turn out, so don't worry if it looks a little weird having these pieces of elastic sticking out. Now that we have the pieces of elastic sticking out, we need to box our corners. And this is an example of box corners. We're going to draw a 1/2 inch box corner, and I have my ruler here that I have a 1/2 inch sort of already marked off here, just to make it a little bit easier to see. And we're going to line up my 1/2 inch along the stitch line and the 1/2 inch along the fold line, like that. And then we're going to draw our line like so. Same thing on the other side. 1/2 inch along the stitch line, 1/2 inch along the fold line. And you do that to all 4 corners just like that. Now once you have the 4 corners folded out, what you're going to do is you're going to cut those out with some scissors. And so now I have the starting of my boxed corners. So now what we want to do is we want to pinch the sides and sew them flat. So see how I pinched that to the side? So this is the way it looks like from the front. I grab the front and the back and I pinch this. We're going to sew along that seam there, just like that. 1/4 inch again. Lower our foot. I'm going to reverse. Cut my threads. I reversed at the front, at the start and the finish. I'm going to do the same thing for this other side, for that other box. Pinch. Get that all nice and flat there. Lower my foot. Reverse at the beginning. Reverse at the end. Cut my threads. And then I have a little boxed corner on all 4 sides. And now what we're going to do is we're going to turn this inside out, or right side out. So you can pull onto your elastic and just pull that out from both sides. Now again, I'm using black thread. I would use thread that matched, but I'm just using black thread so that you can see the stitching better. So now we've made our pincushion. Now there's just one more thing that we'd have to do, or two more things. We would need to stuff this with some polyfill or the crushed walnut shells, whichever you prefer, and then hand sew this shut. Now, if I was doing this with the skinny 1/4" elastic and I was tying it in the back, I would be done. But if I'm going to use the snap method, which I'm going to on this one, I'd have one more step to do. So I just have to attach my snaps. Now, depending on the snaps that you have, I would highly recommend just following the instructions of the manufacturer who has created your snaps. For this particular snap method, what I've done is I'm folding a 1/2 inch, around a 1/2 inch, along here, along the back side, and we're going to push. So each pin or each snap has 2 different sides. So it has a pokey side. They each have pokey sides because I'm going to need 1 full set. It has a negative side and a positive side. So those are my snaps right there. Now I'm going to take one of the pokey ones and push it from the back to the front and push it all the way through, just like that, so you can see. And I'm doing this, I'm starting on the right-hand side. Got my snap into place. I'm going to take one of the positive, the negative, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to take my little clamper thing here and clamp this into place and just squeeze. If you don't have one of these, there's also, you can use a hammer. Depending on the method that you use will determine how you close it up. But if you do, you can purchase these pretty inexpensively. If you're planning on doing a lot of them, I would recommend getting one. So now what we're going to do is to match this up so it's not twisted, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this one, the left-hand side, to the back, and we're going to take our pokey side and push from the back side or the front side to the back. Let's grab that piece that went flying. So I pushed that from the left, so this is on the left side, from the back to the front here. And now I'm laying the other half. And we're going to smash this, give that a good squeeze. And we are then ready to snap this up. So as you can see, these are matching up. Give that a good nice snug, and then now we have our snaps attached to each other. And then once you finish filling this with your polyfill and then hand sewing this shut with either a whip stitch or a ladder stitch, you will be all set and ready to attach it to the front of your machine, just like this over here. And it will look like that once it's attached along the back. It snaps along the back. I can even use my little binder clips to attach it there to clip those into place, just to have an extra storage for those. So let's go ahead, and now that we're done, we've gotten this all sewn up. Again, all you would have to do is fill this and then hand sew it shut, and then we are good to go. I'd like to thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you all are excited about trying out this project and making tons of them for your friends and family who sew, because I think they make great gifts. So I thank you guys again for joining me. My name is Miriam Coffey. I will see you guys next time, and happy sewing.